Okay, girls, we are picking up with Chapter 7 of Mercy Watson to the Rescue. Okay, boy, I'm eager to get this, find out what happened. We're about halfway through. Remember what's happened so far is that Mercy Watson was in the bed with Mr. and Mrs. Watson. The bed got too heavy. It started to fall through the floor. Mercy Watson jumped up to go find some hot buttered toast. There wasn't any hot buttered toast in the kitchen, so she went over to see if baby Lincoln had some. And now Eugenia Lincoln woke up, and she's mad at Mercy and looks like she's chasing her around. Meanwhile, Mr. and Mr. Watson are still in their bed, and it's starting to fall through the floor. The fire department is coming because Eugenia called them because of the pig, but the fire department doesn't know about the problem with the bed falling through the floor. So here we go. We're picking up with Chapter 7. Eugenia ran toward Mercy. Mercy's heart beat faster. There was going to be a chase. Mercy loved a chase. So Mercy thinks she's playing games. She let Eugenia get very close to her. Oink, said Mercy, dashing away. Get out of my yard, shouted Eugenia. There they are. Mercy's having fun. He thinks they're playing a game. Eugenia is all mad. Oink, oink, said Mercy. She ran in circles, so she didn't run out of the yard. She kicked up her heels. No pigs allowed, Eugenia shouted. No pigs allowed. Oh, sister, said baby, please be careful. A siren wailed. A fire truck pulled into the Lincoln sisters' driveway. Ned and Lorenzo got out of the truck. Okay, so there's the two firemen. They're watching. They get out of the truck. One of these is Ned. The other's Lorenzo. We'll find out which is which. And they see Eugenia chasing the pig. So they get out of the truck. Do you think that's the emergency? Ned asked. Could be, said Lorenzo. Ned and Lorenzo sighed. You never know with this job, said Lorenzo. You're right, said Ned. You never know. Chapter 8. Ma'am, said Lorenzo to baby, did you call the fire department? Oh dear, said baby. I did not, but Eugenia may have called. Who's Eugenia? Asked Ned. My sister, said baby. Is that her? Asked Lorenzo. The one chasing the pig? Yes, said baby, that's her. Baby and Ned and Lorenzo watched Eugenia chasing Mercy through the yard. Lorenzo cleared his throat. What exactly is the emergency? Asked Ned. I thought I saw a monster at my bedroom window, said baby, but it was not a monster. It was Mercy. Mercy? Asked Lorenzo. The pig, said baby, the pig who lives next door. I see, said Ned. Eugenia does not care for pigs. In her opinion, pigs belong on farms. There's something to be said for that opinion, said Lorenzo. Ned nodded. Help! Help! Shouted a faraway voice. Help us! Did you hear that? Asked Ned. Somebody is in trouble, said Lorenzo. Let's go. Okay, so they hear the Watsons asking for help. They're yelling, help, help, help. And they hear them, so the firemen rush over to the Watsons' house. Chapter 9. Chapter 9. Ned and Lorenzo ran toward the call for help. They went into the Watsons' house. Help! Ned and Lorenzo looked up. They saw a bed hanging out of the ceiling. They saw Mr. and Mrs. Watson holding onto the bed for dear life. Look at that. It's about to fall through the ceiling. Oh, my gosh. They need to be rescued. They might be hurt if the bed falls through the ceiling. Might not be too good for the bed either. We're saved, cried Mrs. Watson. Of course we are saved, said Mr. Watson. Mercy has alerted the fire department. Okay, so they're saving the Watsons. They go upstairs and they rescue Mrs. Watson and Mr. Watson, get them out of the bed, and Mr. Watson thinks that Mercy summoned the fire department. She is amazing, said Mrs. Watson. She is unbelievable. She is a porcine wonder, said Mrs. Watson. Porcine is a Latin term meaning a pig. I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. Maybe your mother or your father can correct me. It looks like it's porcine, but it could be pronounced differently. It's not an English word. It's Porcine. So that's a question for your parents. How do you pronounce porcine? Ned and Lorenzo, it doesn't really matter. We're never going to see in our lifetimes that word again, except if we read this story again. Ned and Lorenzo ran upstairs. They picked up Mr. and Mrs. Watson. The Watsons' bed sighed loudly and crashed all the way through the floor. Oh, they just got there in time before the bed crashed through the floor. Whew. Boom! Mr. Watson looked at the hole where the bed used to be. Oof, look at that. There it is. It crashed to the floor. They're looking through. I have always believed very firmly in the fire department, said Mrs. Watson. Mr. Watson, as have I, said Mrs. Watson, as have I. From the outside of the Watson's house came a squeal. Gotcha, shouted Eugenia. Oh, it looks like Eugenia caught Mercy. We'll find out. Let's see what happens. Look at that. Isn't that silly? Eugenia caught Mercy. I think Mercy kind of wanted to be caught. He was just kind of playing games, so he let Eugenia catch her. Chapter 10. Ned and Lorenzo and Mr. and Mrs. Watson all went outside. Eugenia was sitting on the ground. Her arms were wrapped around Mercy's neck. Her cheek was resting on Mercy's back. Eugenia was breathing very loudly. This pig, she said, was on my property. We'd prefer that you did not call her a pig, said Mrs. Watson. We would prefer that you call her a porcine wonder. We are seeing that word again. That's porcine. It's a Latin word. A porcine wonder, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, said Mr. Watson. After all, she did save us. She's a hero. She's a pig, said Eugenia. She started to cry. There, sister, said Baby. She bent over and patted Eugenia on the back. See, Eugenia, she's all upset. She's crying. Everybody's criticizing her for calling Mercy a pig. Nobody's supporting her. Everyone thinks Mercy is a hero. Maybe she is a hero in her own way. Mercy yawned. She was very tired. I guess that's it, said Ned. Yep, said Lorenzo. Our work here is done. Wait, said Mrs. Watson. It's almost time for breakfast. Oink, asked Mercy. Ooh, Mercy hears breakfast. That's right, breakfast, said Mrs. Watson. She kissed the top of Mercy's head. She looked up at the fireman. Do you boys like toast? Ooh, toast. Chapter 11. In the Watsons' house, around the kitchen table, sat Eugenia Lincoln and Baby Lincoln and Mr. Watson and Mrs. Watson and Ned and Lorenzo. And Mercy, of course. She was at the head of the table in the seat of honor. And in front of her, on her favorite blue plate, was a very tall stack of hot buttered toast. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't count that high. A toast to Mercy, said Mr. Watson, holding up his glass of orange juice. A toast to our darling, our dear, said Mrs. Watson. A toast to Mercy, said Baby. Oh, it's a toast, and also they're eating toast. There they are. Doesn't it look like a happy scene? Look at all of that toast, all of it with a lot of butter on it, and they're drinking orange juice, and they got some jam. Granddaddy likes jam. And Mercy's got the biggest stack of all. Everybody looks so happy except who doesn't look happy? That's right, Eugenia. She doesn't think pigs belong in a house. She thinks pigs belong in a farm. In my opinion, said Eugenia, pigs should not be toasted. In my opinion, pigs do not belong at the kitchen table. To our hero, said Mr. Watson. Where would we be without Mercy? Yes, said Mrs. Watson. Who would have saved us? I can't imagine, said Ned. Me neither, said Lorenzo. They all clinked glasses. Mercy had another piece of toast. Chapter 12. Oh, Mercy's taking a nap. Granddaddy loves naps. Outside the Watsons' house, the sun was rising. First, the sun was red, and then it was orange. It rose higher and higher. Inside the Watsons' house, Mercy was lying on the couch. She was getting ready to take a nap. Bright, bright is the morning sun, sang Mr. and Mrs. Watson together. But brighter still is our porcine wonder. That doesn't rhyme. Brighter still is our porcine wonder. Mercy smiled. She closed her eyes. She was asleep before Mr. and Mrs. Watson even finished the song. There she is, taking her nap, and Mr. and Mrs. Watson are singing their favorite song to sing their pig to sleep. And that's it. That is the end of the story, and I'm so happy that I could read this to you. And I have another Mercy Watson book, and I'll read it to you next time. Bye-bye, girls.